Let me tell you the story of 1993. On that Easter Sunday, I had a house full of Easter Sunday guests getting ready for dinner when I got a call from the television station saying, "There's something going on at the Lucasville prison. Could you drive down there?" I was in Columbus. "Could you drive down there and see what's happening? It'll probably be over by the time you get there."
I was called Sunday, Easter afternoon, by my boss at the time, and he said, "We got something going on down at the riot, down at the state pen. Can you go down, go grab a news car and get down there and let's see what's going on." And I got down there, and it was just organizing in terms of laying things out and everything. And we parked the news car off on the muddy field, and it started to sink slowly down into the mud. And thus began the long 11-day, wait.
Because of all that came before the riot, Lucasville was like a powder keg with so much pressure, and it just took one spark to set it off. And on that Sunday, that spark let off a massive riot. And we didn't realize at the time that it was going to go so long. We thought this uprising would be put down within a couple of hours, or maybe a day, 2 at the most. It went on for 11 days.
Frustrating was getting a cell phone line out of there, because there was nothing there. Frustrating was lack of information. When this first started, there were, I believe, 3 state agencies holding news conferences. One in the morning, one in the afternoon, sometimes one in the evening. And sometimes they said different things. And you were questioning, wait a minute, this one said that, and this one said that. And, it got a little frustrating till towards halfway through the middle of the first week. I think the State Patrol finally said, "Look, we're going to take care of it."
We were literally out on the road, pretty far away from the prison. So we really could not tell what was going on. We could not see that much. We were kept back pretty far. Occasionally, the state would hold a briefing. The Highway Patrol would have a briefing, or the Corrections Department, and they did not tell us very much. They only said that there have been no escapes, and early on, we did not know, at least immediately, about all of the murders.
What was coming out information-wise was frustrating, which led to a lot of people guessing or reporting, quote, rumors. But I like to think it made me a better reporter, because I became more observant of the smallest, tiniest things.
There's not a lot of information that's available. The town was traumatized by this, the town of Lucasville. It's not very big. It's a really close-knit community. And those people were scared for their friends and neighbors. And they were afraid that the inmates would break out and then go on a killing spree, through the countryside.
And those old prison movies where you see the light shining down on the prison and everything else is pitch black. And that's the way it looked. And I'm sitting here in the dark. The only light I have is the dashboard from the car that I had to fire up the power of the cell phone. And the cell phone keypad, and that's it. I'm sitting in pitch black, and I'm looking out on this prison that's got plenty of light, but everything else around you is like, oh my gosh, we've driven off the end of the world. It just was very spooky.
What sticks out for me is going inside Lucasville after the riot. So when it was all done, shortly after peace was restored to the prison and the inmates moved somewhere else, in L Block, there's a lot of curiosity about what did it look like? What did the inmates do? Did they destroy everything? Were there any signs in there that might help people understand what occurred? So the Corrections Department allowed a couple of reporters in. It's called a pool system, where some people are picked pretty much at random. A TV crew, a radio crew, a newspaper crew, allowed to go in and see what goes on. I was the TV pool reporter. I had a photographer, we were allowed in. And then we would share all of that video and audio. Whatever we saw went to every television station in the state of Ohio. And it was eye-opening. All the bodies had been removed at that point. All the inmates had been gone for days. But everything else stayed the same. Imagine anything and everything that wasn't bolted down was tossed out of all of the cells and piled up in the common areas. Everything was destroyed. People's personal belongings, radios, they do have TV sets. Radios and TVs, those were broken. Everybody's personal belongings, their books and photos, family scrap albums were tossed around everywhere. I remember walking down a hallway and seeing written in, it might have been paint, it might have been blood, in big letters, "Convict Unity." And a chill went through me.